that in front of 100,000 people. I feel like I'm feeling all right for this game. At very
for this game, because these are flat monitors.
These are flat monitors. Oh, if they were curved, they would be finished, yeah.
Absolutely ruined. For the moment, though, both these teams going to draw their lines of scrimmage on Summoner's Rift. We have 2 more games for each of these teams after this. 4 wins seems to be our benchmark to make sure that you are into the group stage. Koi and XL. Well, Koi were able to make it into groups in Winter. XL obviously fell out of the bottom of the pack alongside Fnatic and are trying to renew their ability to make it into the bracket stage. They've had a few fumbles, more than a few, but over the last couple of weeks they've started to look a little bit more cohesive, and perhaps Abadage is the magic addition to their lineup that will allow them to make it into groups for the first time in 2023.
Yeah, like we said, as we came into the draft, XL needs to change up something, whether it was roster or playstyle, and they've gone for the former. And it's been a while since we've seen Abadage here in the LEC. Of course, had his stint out in NA. Pretty successful one, if I say so myself. So returning back home to Europe, first game, we'll see how he does. It's a pretty whatever matchup, right? You'll probably get shoved in here a fair bit in the early stages by this is it. But eventually it's all about team fighting, right? It's all about finding those flash body slams, the big casks onto Comp, onto Larson. Just trying to provide for your team. And I mean, when you've got Malphite and Wukong next to you, I think you're always going to be providing something for those guys.
Yeah, you have a lot of CC in this XL lineup, and you see it is the Comet for Odo Omne up towards that top lane. Shigenda went fleet footwork on the Gnar, just for a little bit more sustain in the matchup as well. Obviously the ranged form, very beneficial for the Gnar. You can just harass that Malphite down, but if Malphite is able to get some Q spam on you, it becomes a little bit more tricky. Malrang, though, looking for something in the jungle here as Xerxes is on his Gromp. I think Malrang just pinged that the blue was up, thinking perhaps that Xerxes was on the Wolves. Still 20 seconds before a Scuttle Crab comes up. There's a ward down towards this bottom side, so Malrang's just hovering in the darkness. He will go up as he thought Xerxes was starting the blue. I think he thought Xerxes was on Wolves and was going to come across to the blue and then would be, half health because he was doing the blue at the time. Yeah. Trimby and Comp trying to push in the bottom lane to add some pressure for their jungler.
Yeah, the big issue here is that the bottom side should have first move, actually Patrick and Limit, just because of the way the geography of the map works. So it's a bit of an awkward situation. Even though Koi have lane priority, they won't necessarily get to the play first. And also in the mid lane, Abadage is taking a pretty hefty chunk as well. So maybe Larson makes it over there first. Seems like it will just be yielded. Malrang will retreat back to the skull, and he will secure that one. Xerxes keeps his full clear, much like we had the Telestrator from GB and Yamato. Malrang pretty inefficient pathing, as Comp should be fine.
Malrang could go back in here. Limit has to flash away. Xerxes diving forward onto Comp. The heal used the barrier as well, and Comp's still healthy enough to continue the fight. Patrick tries to turn it back around, but look at the mana bars on Patrick and Limit. Not very healthy at all, and so it'll be difficult for them to continue to trade in here. Xerxes leeching XP as is Malrang down towards his bottom lane. You can see Trimby and Comp just want to get the wave in so that they can get back. They'll use the Ultra Shock laser to do so. And now the Koi bot lane can retreat back to their fountain.
Yeah, I think XL, with the mana bars the way they were, wanted a good lane reset, so like keeping Xerxes there, but then also Malrang there just because the lane wanted to be crashed, just simply because it was a good lane state to crash it on. So eventually Koi do get their lane in, they will get the reset first. We'll see how much that matters for Comp and Trimby in around 60 to 90 seconds time or so. For XL though, they will be on that back foot, and not necessarily the worst start. The CS is still the same in the bottom side, and with Nami and Lucian, as we've kind of developed more and more with this bottom lane duo, it's kind of come a lot more to the mid game, right? Gale Force plus that 1.5